Hello and welcome to this week's video blog on the law. This week we're talking about the legal liability for the behavior of dogs. That is, if a dog injures somebody or causes property damage, what are the legal consequences and how can they be reduced or even avoided entirely? This discussion applies to both dogs that you might own, but also dogs owned by others that might be under your care or simply because they're on your property. Dog owners can be very passionate about their dogs and sensitive to the criticism of others, much like somebody would be about their own children. Indeed, dogs are not only our best friends, but they're members of our family. So, this blog is not about any particular breed of dog or how their owners train or care for them. Indeed, any breed of dog can be completely harmless and also quite dangerous depending on the circumstances. Rather, this discussion is about how the law may hold the owner of any dog responsible for injury, death, or damage caused by the dog, and why having insurance is critical. There are three principal ways the law holds people responsible for harm caused by a dog. The first is under general negligence law. This law says that if the behavior of the dog could cause foreseeable harm to others, the person whose control the dog is under has a responsibility to prevent the harm. This is true regardless of the ownership of the dog or the location of the dog. For example, if you take a friend's dog to an on-leash park and you let the dog off-leash and the dog knocks an elderly person to the ground breaking their hip, you will likely be responsible for their injuries. The second ground on which you may be legally responsible for injury caused by a dog is if it occurs on property controlled by you. This is because in BC, a person who controls property must take reasonable steps to ensure activities conducted on the property do not pose an unreasonable risk to others. For example, you decide to host a backyard barbecue and you invite all your friends to bring their dogs. You might know that some of the dogs don't quite get along, but you hope for the best. During the barbecue, a dog fight ensues and a guest is badly bitten, suffering nerve damage, leaving them unable to use their dominant hand to work. Even though you don't own the dog, because of your duty to ensure people are reasonably safe in using your premises, you may be responsible for the injuries. The last legal basis for liability is based on an old legal maxim called scienter, which is Latin for essentially knowledge of poor behavior. Scienter means that if you own a dog, the dog has demonstrated a dangerous behavior previously, and you knew that it had, you may be liable if that behavior later hurts someone. For example, a dog owner is aware their dog likes to chase motorcycles because they've seen the dog chase motorcycles. One day the owner forgets to tie the dog up in the front yard and the dog chases a motorcycle who leaves the road and hits a tree and is badly injured. The dog owner would likely be at fault for the accident. These are all tragic but entirely realistic scenarios. So, besides having your dog under a degree of control that's appropriate for the circumstances, what can dog owners do to reduce their legal risk? The answer is insurance. Many people don't know that their homeowner's insurance policy includes $1 million in liability insurance that will pay for a lawyer to defend them and any money that they have to pay as a result of injury or damage caused by the dog. This is true even if the accident happens when the dog or person covered by the insurance are away from the property, such as at the park, and even if the dog is not owned by the person insured. The same is true of renters or tenants' insurance policies. Important, such insurance is only about $35 a month. In the last 10 years, approximately 25% of all claims made under homeowners and renters' insurance policies were made as a result of a dog causing injury or property damage. In the last several years, the average value of a dog-related insurance claim has been between $35,000 and $45,000. Obviously, no dog owner wants to be responsible for this type of debt. If you are not a homeowner or renter or a family member living with somebody who is, you likely do not have liability insurance to protect you if your dog gets you sued. However, you can buy separate liability insurance from almost any broker you speak to. In closing, if you are a dog owner, regardless of the breed, the responsible thing to do is ensure you have insurance to protect you and any person that might be injured by your dog. Rarely does any dog intend to cause harm, but unfortunately, the intent of a dog matters not when you're the one being sued. I hope you found this blog helpful, and thank you for watching. Please feel free to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or follow our YouTube channel above. Thank you very much.